Hello and welcome back to Perfume. I am Emily and I'm going to cover the Eros Pour Femme EDT versus the EDP. And this is part of the Versace series I'm working through right now. It's always nice to be able to do these comparison videos. I have my EDP here. I got this mini sample of it in a little Versace sample pack. Basket, and then I have just a little sample of the EDT, but I will start with the EDP since that's the first one I got. That was the first one I was familiar with, and I've worn this a lot. Actually, I wore it to work. It's got lemon, so I usually only wear lemon heavy fragrances during the daytime because I think they're too like uplifting and invigorating to work as well in the nighttime as they do in the daytime. I like this perfume. I don't think it's a bad perfume. I've definitely, it's grown on me over time. It's interesting the differences between the EDP and the EDT in terms of the notes. So this one has in the top Sicilian lemon, which is also in the EDT, but it has pomegranate and bergamot. So you can imagine like those accompanying notes give it this, especially for me the pomegranate, gives it this little bit of like a sour tang or like a tartness to the scent that is unusual. I don't see pomegranate as a note in very many fragrances, and I think it kind of makes, in terms of masculine leaning or feminine leaning, the EDT leans more feminine and the EDP leans a little bit more unisex. I wouldn't go so far as to say it was masculine or even unisex. It's a feminine leaning unisex kind of set, and that tartness of the pomegranate really comes through for me and is almost as prominent as the lemon, or maybe even more so. The bergamot I don't get quite as much, but I think it adds just a little bit more like a unisexy vibe. Bergamot does. And then in the middle it's got jasmine plus lemon blossom, jasmine, two types of jasmine, jasmine and jasmine sambac, and then peony. But I think, yeah, I don't really, well, I guess I kind of smell those as, I don't smell any distinct one of those three. I don't think they're overpowering like of one of the three florals. I think they're all pretty well balanced, so it kind of makes it a little bit indistinguishable as to what those florals are, but that's what they are. And in the base, it's got musk, ambroxan, woodsy notes, and sandalwood. So that gives it a little bit better longevity. This actually, for a citrus perfume, has pretty good longevity. I would say it lasts me at work probably about 5 or 6 hours. So for something that is that like fruity on the top, that base anchors it really nicely and gives it a nice longevity. I'd say this fragrance might be a little bit more mature than the EDT because it's less sweet and more like tart sour kind of scent. No. So it's not, I don't know, I think of like sweet perfumes as being more youthful and dry. I guess dry is what you would say with wine, but less sweet perfumes as being like more mature or, you know, less youthful. That's how I think about it. But yeah, it's a nice perfume. I'd say it's like good for probably all year round, daytime, decent longevity, probably maybe more of a spring-ish vibe than the other seasons, but I think you can get away with this all year round. That is the EDP of Eros Pour Femme. Now, the EDT, so I've had this for a while. I've been using it kind of like during the day at work. It would be my Monday perfume, Monday morning. But I was watching a review by Rhonda Larice, and she was going on her spring, I think, she was going on about how she loved Eros Pour Femme, and I was like, really? And then she was like, the EDT, not the EDP. And I was like, oh, well, I haven't smelled that. So I picked it up, and I get it. I get what she's talking about. It's really nice. I think I had my boyfriend sample these, and he definitely preferred the EDT. The EDP was released in 2014, and then in 2016 they came out with the EDT. and the EDT has similar notes like in each level, top, middle, and bottom, but there are some slight differences that make for a fairly different perfume. There's the Sicilian lemon still, but instead of the pomegranate and bergamot, it has raspberry, white currant, mandarin, and cologne, which is the chemical they use for a melon scent. So as you can imagine, it's much more fruit forward, much more sweet smelling. It doesn't have that tartness of the pomegranate. It kind of gets a sweet boost from the cologne, the mandarin orange, the raspberry. I don't smell any of those fruits as prominently as the lemon, but they're all kind of in there, kind of sweetening it up, making it a sweeter, fruitier scent. And then in the middle, they both have jasmine, but the other accompanying florals in the middle are magnolia, freesia, and orange blossom, instead of the peony and lemon blossom in the PDP. So I think that also, those florals in particular are a little bit more like light and sweetish. Florals can be sweet. And then in the base, it's almost exactly the same with the exception of the sandalwood. There's musk and ambroxan, woodsy notes, and patchouli, which I think adds a little bit of sexiness, which is maybe why, part of the reason why, I mean, in addition to the sweetness factor, but my boyfriend preferred it. I think patchouli is a kind of a sexy note if it's done right and balanced well, and I think it is in this. It's balanced nicely with the sweet fruits on top. I get this sort of like juicy lemon candy, sugared lemon. It smells sugary and sweet to me, but I think that's all of the fruits on the top that do that. And the sweeter like freesia, magnolia, florals that come through. I don't smell a distinctive patchouli note, but I know it's kind of got a sexiness, and so I think that's all coming from the base. And that's a nice base. The musk, the ambroxan, woodsy notes, and patchouli mixed together nicely. So, I mean, I'm actually considering getting the EDT because of how much nicer. I feel like there's a freshness to it that doesn't really, I'm almost out of it. It doesn't really present at all in the EDP. Yeah, it's kind of got this light, fresh undertone that is really nice and a little addictive, honestly. So I get Rhonda Reese's kind of raving about it, and it would be interesting to have a bigger one because I think I'm just killing this right now. I'm killing this little sample. It's done. It's gone. So yeah, that is the EDT versus the EDP, and the EDT I also think is a little more youthful, like I said. Probably also good all year round, but maybe better for the warmer weather because of the kind of fruity lightness of it. And yeah, solid fragrances. Thanks, Versace. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Please subscribe and like if you haven't, and give me comments. Let me know what you think about these fragrances, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.